Hello, I'm Jonathan Womack, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Stories of Homes. We have with us Mr. Gary Clendenin, who is going to show us around a couple different homes today. And the first one we come to is actually very special to him and others of the community, as it was at one time the home of Wayne and Annie Turner. And so this is their old home place where much of the community in Hills Creek come here and was partly raised by this wonderful family. And he's going to tell us more of the background story of that and much more on this edition of Tennessee Stories of Home. Stay tuned.
She carried loads for all the neighbors. Her back was warm from steady labors, coal and kindling to heat a home.
I hope this highway leads me back to town. I've been too long on this road. Maybe this time I'll come back home to stay. I wonder why I ever rode for people that walk like me and talk like me. County fairs and a marching band. Now that I've come back home, I'll never roam again. I've found my place to stand. I'll take any road that gets me back home. Just give me the word to go, and I'll live out my life there on the barren floor, there in the shadow of the mud.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Womack, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Stories of Home. It is the opportunity for us to take time to reminisce and look at the history of much of our community and the home places, the homes, but really much more than just the physical building. It is the stories behind those. And we have Mr. Gary Clendenin. Gary, thank you so much for
my
being.
pleasure.
Honestly, we've got several shows with you in the next few months. You guys will be seeing Gary with. I've waited a long time. You're on Southern Music Showcase. You're on a lot of different things because you love music. You write music.
I do, yeah.
I don't know what all you can play, but we'll save that for Southern Music Showcase.
Okay.
But today, we sort of come home with you. You're home in Hills Creek, and we've got a couple places we're going to be looking at. This first place, this is special to you because this was your aunt and uncle's.
My great aunt and uncle.
Great aunt and uncle.
Yeah, Wayne and Annie Turner. And they never had any children, but they helped raise 3 generations of children in this area.
And you say different generations of children.
Yes, my father's generation, my father would get off the school bus here and not go home and stay with them. I've stayed here in this house as a kid. They had a spare bed that was kind of in the dining room, and I'd stay there and stay the night with them. But my dad was here frequently. Next door neighbor, Lynn McGregor, they were like his grandparents. And then the younger generations, if there was a mother that was sick or not, or maybe had to go work or something like that, and they needed child care, come here. Saturdays, I think Lynn was up here either, they'd take him squirrel hunting, they'd take him fishing, working in the garden, whatever they were doing, he was doing. And so they were known for their kindness. They never had a whole lot, but they gave a whole lot.
Wow. And we was talking off camera. My children has never even known someone that, or I had the opportunity as a child for just a few years to see someone very close to us in our neighborhood. Like we was saying earlier, you could walk in any time during the day. If she had toast on the table, then you helped yourself.
Yeah.
And there was just that feel of love and home, and so that's really here at this old home place. That's what captured that life of that home, right? Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, Aunt Annie always had a meal set and covered on the table. And if you were here at mealtime, you had to stay and eat. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. You were going to be here eating. She would throw back I never forget, she would throw back the coverlet on the table. She'd take everything, start on the, and it's a little tiny kitchen. It's nothing like the kitchens today. You can reach across it. And she would start throwing skillets on the stove and warming stuff up, and there'd be 2 kinds of meat, there'd be 4 vegetables, there'd be 2 kinds of pie, and there'd be biscuits and cornbread in just about 15 minutes.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was, it's hard to explain, and it's hard to imagine in this day and time.
That's right. Let's talk to some of the people that has no idea where Hills Creek is. A beautiful community. Tell us where it's situated. For some people, this may be the first time that they've even seen anywhere inside Hills Creek, but Hills Creek is a special place on the planet, and it's very special to you, but where is it situated, and why is it so special to you?
Well, it's the southern part of Warren County near Irving College, and this is where my family has been for about 200 years. And so I've got several generations they're buried in the cemetery up on Hills Creek, and growing up coming to visit my grandparents and visit my great aunt and uncle, and because my dad left here when he, like a lot of people, he left looking for work and went north. And we would come to visit then, and so it was very special to me then. And as a kid, I always knew this was home. Wow. Even living 600 miles away, I knew this was home. And so when I was 18, I came back here and lived with my grandparents and went to Tech. And of course, I worked all over the state, but this was always home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it had that much of impression, it brought you back home.
Oh, yeah.
Whereabouts up north was you with your
Ohio.
parents?
My dad went to Akron, Ohio, and got a job because the brother of my Uncle Wayne, my Uncle Dick, which was my grandmother's brothers, he had went north. And he had come back to Tennessee, and this was in the, when my dad was a little boy, and he was come back driving a new car, wearing new clothes and smoking a big cigar. And my dad says, that's where I want, because it was hard to make a living in the South in the Depression and during the 40s.
My dad went up north for a while, Detroit.
Yeah.
Like many others at
Yeah.
a certain time range, and a lot of them, thank goodness, he was back here before I was ever born. But a lot of people sought that. But when it come to Hills Creek as your found home that really was part of your roots, why do you think it's very important for people to have a place like that? I know some people that's watching, maybe they don't have a home place, but I know I can just feel it in the way you're talking about this story. It's very important to you. And why do you think it's important for people to have that?
I don't know, it's a sense of community, I guess, sense of family, just to know that you belong somewhere. And I guess to look at, there's so much specialness, if that's a word here, in every facet, the way the people work together and are part of a community. That's and all the natural diversity that's here, all the history that's here. It's just to me, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Gary, I know it's a busy Saturday that we're filming this, but it's quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's just quiet.
Well, you'll be here on the evenings late, yeah. So when the whippoorwills start hollering.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
wow. So, how many residents lives in Hills Creek area?
Oh, gosh. I wouldn't know. It's, I wouldn't think much over 100 maybe at the most.
Okay. But it's a place they call home.
Yes.
Going back to this home place, your great aunt and uncle built this, you saying maybe 1920s?
In the 20s, yes. Sometime in the 1920s.
And for whatever reason, they had no children.
They had no children.
But there was some people that lived with them from time to time. Tell me just a little bit about the known history.
Well, I know my dad would come here and stay with them at times. You know, he would get off the school bus here and stay all night, maybe a couple of nights in the road, and then go home. You know, you got to go home. You know, but you see, talk to your mom and dad. But they never, nobody, I don't know that they ever actually lived with them that much, but they stayed here a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It was in and out.
It was in and out, and it was a tiny home. It was just 2 rooms.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever they had, whoever come, that's what they had it too.
Yeah.
You know.
Property, I guess, did they talk about going up top of the mountain? I know you got a mountain in behind here.
Yeah, this is actually the escarpment of the Cumberland Plateau. The big sink lays over that way, and if you went, you know, if you went straight and kept walking, you'd come out about Wildwood Road out on Harrison Ferry Mountain.
Okay.
So, but yes, my uncle, my great uncle, Uncle Wayne, and my dad, I've heard them talking about working up in the Big Sink, which is just right down here, just a little ways. It's a high cove up in the mountain, and it's good agricultural land. So he would grow corn up there, but then they'd have to haul it down the mountain. And so it was dangerous. I mean, they had teams of mules. We're talking a wagon and a teams of mules, and they were used to, with their heavy loads, they would tie a log behind the wagon. So the wagon was would drag the logs to keep it slow coming down the mountain. And my dad would do when he was a kid, he would go with him to farm up there. Wow. So just the danger that and the hard work that they did just to make a living.
Yeah. Do you think part of this has inspired you to write some of the songs you've written?
Absolutely. I wrote a song exactly about that right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've got a whole album out actually of songs that are historical in nature.
That's good. Tell folks how they can get a hold of that.
It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. Gary Clendenin. The name of the album is 150 Years. And it's loaded up with banjo, fiddle, and guitar music, a little native flute. There's songs about the Trail of Tears. There's songs about cattle drives. There's songs about daily life, moonshine battles, whatever was on there. So
I see some of your adventures. I don't know if you're GoProing it or whatever you.
Usually my phone, yeah.
Phone.
Usually my phone or a camera, your regular camera.
You're out in the nature. You love nature.
Yeah.
You love history.
Yes.
And make sure you check out more about Gary and some of his beautiful music. Gary, in closing on this part of our show, some of the best memories you have here, what would be some of those recounts of history and memories you have?
Oh my, I don't know. Just sitting on the front porch talking, listening to the stories, and that are part of the stories that I'm telling you. It's like my uncle told me about building this chimney. When he's building the house, he'd never built a chimney before, and he's having to, to heat his home, he had to have a chimney. So he's putting the rocks together, and it's not working out right, because he'd never done it. Well, Uncle Jeff Lytle, who was the grist miller, was also, I guess, a really good stonemason. And Uncle Jeff lived about another 3 miles on up the road at the grist mill. He came down here and helped Uncle Wayne, showed him the right kind of rocks to get, showed him how to get this chimney started, and he said, then I got my chimney built.
Wow. That's how people did.
That's how they did.
By the way, we better come back to that same idea because we need that in communities.
Yeah, people helping one another. I mean, just...
You've got a picture that is really, really unique. It is took right here on the front porch. What are we seeing? And there's several different people. One of the people, your grandmother, I believe, that was in the
It would
back.
have been my great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother.
Photobombed my...
She was hiding out.
Yeah,
right?
she was hiding out. I don't think she wanted her picture made, but she wanted to see the picture being made. And she didn't realize it, but it's my aunt and great-aunt and uncle, Uncle Wayne and Annie. My dad looks like he's about maybe 7. Wow. Sitting on the front porch, and then my great uncle Wayne's mother.
Yeah. And your dad's name?
My dad's Fred Clendenin. Yeah,
And, where is he laid at rest?
He up at Hills Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, my father's there, my grandfather, my great grandfather, and my brother are all there, plus other family, aunts and uncles, and then go back. I descend on through. One of the first settlers, Henry J. Hill, which Hills Creek was then renamed for. I descend through him also.
Well, make sure you check out Gary's wonderful music. Also, check out some of the stuff like we've been talking about. that you'll see Gary on several shows, even upcoming shows that we have. It's been a pleasure meeting you here at this home place. We have more home places with Gary we're going to tour. Make sure you check those out. And until always, we say we hope to see you inside your community.
Warm the soul, saddle up Maudie, that fine gray mare. She's seen us through all the times, from lean to fair. She watched the mountains around her grow older, mattered a little when the wind blew colder. She ran the river road faster than sin. She climbed the highlands time and time again, knew every secret path and misty hollow. There was no trail she could not follow.
Hey guys, Kelly here with Warren First 931, and once again partnering up with Community TVT and Jonathan and the gang. We are live at the Sprint for Specials 10K, and with me this morning at the crack of dawn is Dr. Peterson. Love this guy to death. If you ever have any leg, foot issues, right?
Any of that stuff.
Any of that, you need to go to this man. He knows his stuff. But
You're
with
too
that,
kind.
well, you also got a lot of kids to back up too. So you got to feed the children, right?
True.
But with that said, he is here once again for the second year, because this is the second one,
Yep.
and this is special to you. Tell everybody why you love coming to do this and support.
Well, the Special Kids program, unbelievable for our community. There's no question the blessing that it provides for so many in the community.
Yeah.
The support that it provides for the families.
Right.
We were part of this with my youngest son.
That's right.
Unbelievable support, and so we love to support this stuff. We love to do the exercise piece, but also to sponsor this. Well, not sponsor, but give donations and other
Yeah.
stuff. It's an unbelievable blessing for our community.
It is. And tell everybody, as a doctor, it is healthy to have some type of a type of activity in your life, whether it's walking, running, jogging,
absolutely.
Stuff. So tell everybody.
So this is a great opportunity to talk about that.
Yes, it is.
Because you think about it, we've got one body. What are we doing with it?
Yeah.
We've got to exercise. We've got to do something. Whether or not it's walking, whether or not it's a run like this, or something that we do 5 to 6 days a week.
Right.
Stretching, those kind of things. As we get older, our bodies start to they start to struggle a bit. So
unfortunately,
the younger you start, the better it is. But truly, that's the blessing that we have, is to use these bodies to serve, but also to strengthen ourselves.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck
for
in
having
the
us.
race today.
I'm going to do the best I can and then go fix a broken hip.
Well, there you go. Multitasking. I love it.
That's right.
But keep it here. We're going to have more interviews to come. And I am back with one of the other sponsors of this Sprint for Specials 10K. I'm with Dara Holt with Regions. Hello, Dara.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. So this is y'all's first year in sponsorship, because of course this is the second year. Tell us why y'all think that Special Games is special to you guys.
The special needs community is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I'm involved with our basketball program, the special games.
Oh, wow.
I just love being a part of that community and the families that are touched by that.
I love that. And then with Regions, we have one location here in McMinnville, of course. Tell us what you guys do. I know about checking and, savings, but do you do anything special?
Actually, we do. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Regions has what we call a green print. You may have seen that advertised.
Okay.
It's where we can build a personalized financial plan specific to our customers' individual needs.
Oh, that's cool. So they just come on in and they sit with one of the Regions folks, and then they just say, this is what I need, and then you just kind of assess it all together?
Absolutely. We actually ask some questions just to kind of better understand what our customers' financial goals and needs are, to make sure we have them in the accounts that are best to meet their needs.
Yeah.
We have tons of free resources online. We can help them build a budget, pay off debt, build a savings plan, anything that might interest them.
And also too, like Regions has other locations across the whole United States, am I correct?
Well, we're actually in the Southeast. We're in 16
Southeast.
states.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. So it's vacation time. So anytime you go, you better make sure which way you vacation, make sure Regions is nearby, right?
Absolutely. We go over to Texas, down to Florida, so you can most likely find a Regions when you're on vacation.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for letting me interview you today, Dara. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate your time.
You too. All right, guys, we got more to come. Stick around.
Third place, William Welsh.
We are back live at USA Gym, and with us is another amazing sponsor, once again supporting them for the second year in a row, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I have Peter, the Grand Supreme with me, the El Presidente. Tell everybody why Sprint for Special Games is special to you guys, because this is your second year, and it means a lot to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, community involvement has always been priority number one. Serving our customers, serving the community.
Yeah.
So for us, getting our folks out there and volunteering today is so special. But these kids, they need the help of the community. They need the help of the businesses, and we're here to support. Our customers support us, so we have to give back to the community. So it's important for us.
100%, because they're people too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think everybody is uniquely made, and they're no different than us.
Yeah. Everybody has different needs. You come in and you have a need for a checking account, but these kids have different needs.
Yeah.
And they enjoy it so much. If people give back to the community, and that's what we got to do every single day.
I love it. And with that said too, y'all have completely changed. You shook up the whole First National Bank of Middle Tennessee Nation. So tell us what the new brand is and why.
Well, it's been 150 years, so it's a great time to change things around, right? And so for us, it's just doing that First National Bank of Middle Tennessee version 2.
Yeah.
So for us, it's just getting a little bit more modern, and the logo is just part of it.
Yeah, I love it.
So we're going to renovate all of our offices footprint wide.
Okay.
So that is going to be amazing, and you're going to love that. It's going to be a different atmosphere at First National, and that's what we try to do every day.
And like the slogan says, we show up. And as you did, you showed up here.
Yeah.
And I love it. But thank you for being here, and thank you for letting me interview you today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, we got more to come. Vanessa, tell everybody, why you started this, because that's really important.
Well, Minville Special Games does a lot for our local community, and there's a need there, and I just saw a need for funding, and I also saw an opportunity to have a 10K, which is something that you don't often see.
That's right.
So I reached out to Holly, and I said, you should have an annual fundraiser, and it should be a 10K.
Yeah.
And she said, that's a great idea. Plan it.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. You speak it, you plan it. Yes.
Here we are. I have to say, none of this would be possible without the community. Everyone has gotten behind me. Our banks, Ben Lomond, Warren First, Community TV. The whole community just fell in and helped me make this race possible. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
We have participants from 5 counties this year. We have a virtual participant from Hawaii.
Yeah, I remember that. You told me that.
We have a gentleman who actually wanted to participate so badly that he is riding his scooter today with his adult children who are running the race. So not only does it raise funds and bring people to our town, it creates a community event where we all come together and have a good time and do something positive.
I agree, and you can agree with me on this too. When there's a need in this community and people put it out there, people just gravitate. With us right now, I have one of the oldest racers in today's 10K race. You are the oldest. Look at her owning it. I love it.
Own it.
How old are you?
70.
70. And what's your name?
Donna Dunlap.
Donna, so what mode do you do this often? Do you like running, walking?
Walking.
Walking? And how long have you been doing races like this?
Okay, Lucas, finish the race.
Oh,
Since the beginning?
15 years or more. I do the 5Ks and,
You do?
and the half marathons.
Okay. So tell everybody, you know, even at your age, why it is so important to like live a healthy lifestyle.
If you ever sit down, you've had it. You got to keep moving.
I love it. With that said, this is one of many events that helps out the special games because just, you know, a few months ago, the community banded together for the basketball fund.
Point challenge.
The
yes.
point challenge.
Yes.
I mean, something negative turned into such a huge positive at the end of the day. And I just tell everybody why special games is important to you and to the community.
Well, it's important to me because they are my babies.
Yeah.
You know that. They're my babies, and before McMinnville Special Games actually got going in McMinnville, there was really nothing for them to do here.
That's
Once
right.
they aged out of the school system, that was just it, you
Yeah,
know.
because I think I remember you had like the horses thing started up at that point, didn't you?
No, the horses came later.
Okay,
The horses
all right.
came later,
Yeah.
but in 2012, we did our first Olympic event. It was just it was going to be a one thing a year thing. And now we do over like 60 events a year.
Oh my gosh.
Plus we have our McMinnville Enrichment Center, we have our equestrian program, we have a basketball league, a kickball league. We have, you know, just a little bit of everything. So it's just blossomed into this beautiful little community inside of our community that is, but it takes McMinnville, it takes Warren County to make it work. And I know that everybody's always like, oh, you do this and you do that, but it takes all of us to make it work. And I just happen to be the one that is loud enough and bossy enough to be like, hey, let's do this. And let's do this, you know. But they're beautiful. They absolutely deserve everything that we can give them and more. And as long as I've got breath in me, that's what's going to
I
happen.
love that, Holly. So anybody out there that's watching this that wants to get involved in your program, how can they reach out to you?
The best way to do it is Facebook, honestly. I know that, you know, Facebook's an iffy thing for some people, but the best place to do it is Facebook. We do have a website as well, McMinnvilleSpecialGames.com. And actually, if you don't want to do either one of those, just call me on my cell, 931-808-8816. Holler at me and we'll get you set up. If you want to volunteer, if you have a child or an adult that would like to participate in our events, we would love to have them. Our youngest participant is 5 and our oldest is 92.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
God love it.
Our next event will be, our next event is a horse and around riding day.
Okay.
And petting zoo. And we've got some runners crossing the line
I see
here.
that.
And I think that's our last 3.
Yeah.
But our next event is May 4th, and that'll be our riding day and petting zoo. But our main Olympic event is May the 11th at the Milner Recreation Center, and we've got 116 special athletes going to compete that day.
Wow, that's going to be great.
So we're super excited about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, if you need to follow her, follow Special Games, follow them on social media, guys.
You can find me. I'm everywhere.
You are. Well, again, thank you so much for all the
Thank
work you
you.
do
Thank
for this
you.
community and the Special
Thanks.
Games kids.
I've been trying to hide from you all morning.
I know
but,
she
you know.
has. I said, there she is. Let's go get her. But with that said, remember Warren first. Keep it first.